This e-lecture is part of Pearson's Professional Development Series for first-year writing instructors.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Kunka, and I'm going to talk a little bit today about a project I enjoy doing with students called Webzines. Student writers sometimes have some trouble envisioning an audience for their writing beyond instructors. As an English professor, I work very hard to try to get my students to see their writing as a way to communicate with real audiences rather than just exercises that never reach readers beyond the confines of the classroom. One strategy I use to help my composition students expand their sense of audience is to assign webzine projects. Webzines are online magazines. This is a fun assignment that is flexible and can be adapted for a variety of instructional purposes. In my composition course, I often have students practice writing papers in a variety of genres, such as profiles, evaluations, position papers, problem and solution papers, and causal analyses. The webzine provides an architecture through which papers written towards specific audiences can be grouped together. Students sign up for teams based on common themes they are interested in pursuing in their writing. In the past, my students have developed webzine themes related to technology, sports, the outdoors, health topics, and political issues, to name a few. Each student team then develops a name and a mission statement for their webzine. They also identify the target audience to whom they intend to direct their writing. This can be a really fun process for students. I had one group of students create a magazine called Uncut, which was focused on the film industry. Reviews, of course, fit in really well with this topic, but they were also able to do something interesting with their analysis of trends in the film industry. Another team created a great magazine focused on women's issues, which they humorously titled The Monthly. There are a lot of directions that teams can take depending upon how they define the parameters of their publication. When we start working on each genre of paper for the course, students pick topics related to their webzine theme and then write articles that will appeal to their defined readership. After students write their papers, they receive my suggestions for revision. At a point later in the semester, all students are expected to have revised their papers into publishable articles for their webzines. Once the papers are revised, students work on reformatting their papers into web pages. There are several ways to accomplish this. The simple way is to have them use Microsoft Word to reformat their papers and save them as web pages. The more complex way is to teach them a little bit about web design and the tools for creating web pages. I generally show students the basics about how to use Adobe Dreamweaver and Fireworks, just enough to help them format their web pages, as well as edit and insert pictures. Students also work together to create an attractive homepage for their webzine. The homepage contains the table of contents, if you will, for the entire website. This is a place that students will want to experiment with design elements to create the look and ethos for their publication. You do need some technical tools to do this project. Teaching in a computer classroom definitely makes this project easier. Even if you don't teach in a computer classroom, though, some access to computers for a few class periods can help a great deal. You also need server space. If students have their own web spaces on your college or university server, you can have them post their pages online there. In the past, I've also posted all of my students' webzines through my own website on my university server. It also helps if you are able to troubleshoot technical problems. If not, it can be helpful to work with your computer centers and technology departments to find someone to serve as a guest troubleshooter for a few days in your classes as your students assemble their websites. After the webzines are posted, I have students write a reflection about their writing process. I also encourage them to share their weblinks with their friends and families. There are 4 key benefits to this type of assignment. The first benefit is the strong lessons students gain on audience awareness. With the webzines, my students have written less for me, the professor, and more for their audiences on the web. Knowing that they will be making connections with other real readers helps students to take this project more seriously and put more effort into it than they might with a project that has no other readers besides their instructor or even their classmates. Plus, a number of students have shared with me how proud they were to have their family and friends read their writing that had been published online. That sense of accomplishment helps students to feel like knowledgeable writers who have something important to say, not just students writing in a class. The second benefit is that this project doubles as a portfolio project and enhances students' revision processes. In a traditional portfolio process, students submit their work, receive feedback, and then revise it and reflect on it before a final grade is given. The webzine project can function in this way as well. I personally use Webzines as a modified portfolio. I give students grades for their initial papers, and then another major grade for the quality of revisions applied to their original documents. I also have students write reflective pieces about the types of revisions they made to their documents as well as the Webzine project as a whole. With the Webzine project, revision has more meaning for students because they are more invested in their readers' perceptions of their work. A third benefit of the Webzine project is that it fosters collaboration between team members. They must work together to create the vision of their magazine as well as the look of their documents. Team members also give each other feedback during the revision process, which helps students to practice peer review techniques. A final benefit is that this project gives students experience in writing for the web, including some experience with web authoring software as well as layout and formatting protocols. In today's marketplace, students will benefit from having some sense of web design skills and knowledge of how to tailor documents for online audiences. This assignment can be modified a number of different ways. I generally have students work on this project in teams throughout an entire semester. Another strategy would be to create a single webzine for your entire class, with each student contributing 1 or 2 articles to the project. A third option is to have each team function as an editorial board and have students submit their articles through a publication process developed in your class. The best aspect of the Webzine project is that it is fun. My students have enjoyed the opportunity to create web pages, take pictures, and share their writing on the web. With the enhanced instruction on audience awareness, revision, collaboration, and website creation, Webzines are a great way to get your students engaged in writing and share what they know with real readers.
For additional e-lectures, visit Pearson's professional development site for first-year writing instructors at www.pearsonhighered.com/compro.